So the next issue that I want to talk about is one that I see all the time, and it's a shoulder injury or shoulder stability issue. I'll have patients all the time, they say, well, I hurt my shoulder, I went to physical therapy, I saw a chiropractor, and they put me on strengthening exercises. I said, okay, great, what did they give you? Oh, we're doing this, and we're doing this, and doing this. I said, great. Those muscles, the rotator cuff muscles, are what we call prime movers. But I said, does anybody ever talk about the stabilizers of the shoulder? And virtually every patient will be like, what's a stabilizer? So one of the quickest ways to identify if a patient has a shoulder stability issue is to utilize what I call the 4-point rock test. So can I have you up on your hands and knees on the table? So in this position, we can now clearly see her shoulder blades. And you already in the resting position, we can see that we have scapular winging. So as I rock her forward, you can see significant winging. Back to neutral, side to side. And then you can bring her in this position. So even on this left hand, you can see that's what we call significant scapular winging. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put my hand right here. As I raise her up, this should be the position. The stabilizer muscles, the serratus anterior, midlower trapezius, and rhomboids should be keeping the shoulder blade on the rib cage. When we don't, that's when we have this failure. So let me have you sit for me. So anytime that we see that type of scapular winging, regardless of what we've done to stabilize the shoulder, or strengthen the shoulder, I should say, not stabilize, that particular person or athlete is at a much higher risk for having a repeat shoulder injury, whether that be a rotator cuff muscle tear or a labral tear. So a lot of times, much like with the ankle, we get to steps 1 and 2, but we don't do the most important step 3, which is stabilizing the muscles, or stabilizing the shoulder complex, by getting the patient to activate the serratus anterior and mid to lower trapezius. This way, whenever she goes to move her arm, the shoulder complex stays on the rib cage, and then the prime movers, the rotator cuff muscles, will then allow her to move her arm through that particular position while the complex stays steady, ensuring proper mechanics and minimizing the likelihood of injury.